Hi everyone, welcome back to Capes Corner Creations. I've been playing in the craft room today, so I thought I would turn the camera on and bring you along to show you what I've been doing. There's always a pile of papers that, not really big enough for this or that, or they're scraps, and so, or they're not your favorite colors, and, what are you going to do with them? So today I needed a flower of sorts. So I decided to cut some flowers and decorate them and give them a new life. So I'm here to show you how to make some flowers and decorate some clusters, flower clusters, for your journal cards, your pages, or your tags, or the cover of your journals, wherever you need some flowers. And of course, it's always fun to use up scraps, because we make them every day. So anyway, before we get started, I would like to ask that if you enjoy this video today, please like with a thumbs up, share, subscribe if you haven't, and ring that little bell so that you'll see upcoming videos. Alright, let's get started. So this is my scrap paper I'm working with, because I make a mess always with glue and whatnot. But first we need some paper. So I have different papers here. I have some scrap, book pages. I have some thin scrapbook paper. The thinner the better, because you don't want it too thick. It's too hard to cut. If you're making large flowers, then the heavier paper works okay. But the tiny ones, like you can see in this one here, the little flower in the center, the smaller they get, the harder they are to cut. So I'm going to bring some different kinds of paper to the table so that you can see how we're going to go about this. And even the smallest of small can work. Folding gets a little tricky, but other than that, it's all good. So I'm going to do all different sizes so that you can see how this works. I'm just going to move these flowers out of the way a little bit, because they are going to be in the way. Okay. So what you have to do is start with a square. So you can use, I've been using from 1 inch, 1.5 inch square, 2 inch, 2.5, 3 inch, 4 inch, all the way from 1 inch to 4 inches. Now you can go as small as you can cut it, or as large as you would like. So to begin with, I'm just going to cut a piece of paper just to show you. I'm going to do it on the larger side of 3 inches. 3 inches is a good place to start. It's easy to work with, and you can see how that is going to come together. So let me move these papers back out of the way. So this is just a plain piece of paper, and before we glue, I'm going to move this so you can see better. Now, the folding of all these flowers is the same fold. The very part that's different is the very last part, that when you make the final cut, that is what gives you the edges. But all these flowers are the same folding. So first you're going to fold your square in half. Keep this folded piece to the bottom where you're holding on to, because if somehow you turn it around and when you cut that final piece, you're going to have two pieces, because you've now cut it in half. So remember to keep your fold at the bottom. And then we're just going to fold it a second time over here. And then we're going to take and turn it so that this fold that was in the middle is now in the middle this way, and fold the triangle up here. Then we're going to flip it back and fold this up. And that one is the tricky part, just because it's very thick at this point. Now you have this shorter piece and a longer piece. We're just going to use this side to cut this across. So you just snip that off, and usually these go flying, so I try not to let go of it. Okay, so when you open, after you cut them even, you open that, and now you can draw a design or cut with the scissor, whatever shape you'd like. So this is where your edges change shape. So we're just going to, let me use a pencil here. So to start simply, we're just going to do one curve. And we're just going to cut that with the scissor. Okay. Now, at this point, you could, ink the edges or whatever. I usually do it on the paper so that I can do it evenly. And there's your first flower. Okay, so if you'd like to, we'll ink that a little bit. Give ourselves a pink flower. You never know, it's when you're working on a project and you need a certain thing, then you know right off the bat what color you want or things like that. But today we're just doing samples of different things to try to give you the idea on how to do it. Now that's the first part of a flower. Now let's make a second part. So the second one could be this paper here, which, let's square that off. Let's see, we'll do 3 inches. Again, it's easier to work with a 2.5 or 3 inch square. And we're going to do the same thing. Now, it's not perfectly straight, but that's okay because we're going to cut that anyway. So fold it up, as square as we can get. Fold it over. Turn it a little bit. Let me take it out of there again. This paper for the inking. Okay, so we fold it in half. We fold it in half again. And we turn it just a bit. We have this point down here. We're going to take this corner to this corner. And we have a triangle. I'm going to flip it all over and I try and crease this way down the bottom and then just turn this to the middle. There we go. And then we have again this piece here that we don't need, so we're going to cut that off. Oops, see, I let go of it and it went flying. Anyway, okay, so now you have this. Now, you could leave this the way it is. It wouldn't be much of a curve, but it does give it a little bit of a shape. And I'm going to take that apart and show you. A little pointier than this round one. But then, if let's fold it back up. So, okay, so if we take it at this point, and we're going to draw a shape here, that will give you an idea of what you can do here. Now I'm going to make this one a little bit smaller just to show you how it can fit on the inside of this, or even maybe bigger. Let's do this. Let's go around the top here and then all the way to the outer edge. Okay, so of course, depending how great your scissor is, let's go around. There. And there you go. So let's open that. Like I said, they're all the same fold. It's just a matter of how you cut them. There you go. And how pretty is that? And what I would do with this one, could do it front, but I don't like that, was we're going to put a little green on this. This is a little bit already green, the design. So if we ink the edges, then it looks like leaves on the back of the flower. There we go. Now, I like that look. I think I'd like a little extra pink on the edge of this just because it'll make it pop a little bit. Let me put some more ink. There we go. I like that better. I should be more in camera here. A little lopsided today. I've been working, so the desk is really crowded and not a big space to work. There we go. Maybe even some darker green on the tips of the leaves. Sometimes some of the papers grab and some not so much, depending on your scraps, but anyway. And we can do like that. How pretty is that? And if you want to bring that flower down a little bit, because it's just a little big, just fold it back up, because you've already got your design, and just trim that a little bit. We're going to just trim it a little bit, just like this. we go. So you can go back and trim. There we are. Oop. And then I'm going to set that right there. That looks like a morning glory to me, doesn't it? Of course, you know, the morning glories are still blooming here, but not for too long. We've been getting crazy weather, so I imagine that one of these days it's going to just be cold enough that everything is going to go down till spring, but that's okay. It gives you something to look forward to. There. Now, to put something in the middle, because, you know, when you're making clusters, you like several layers. You could put a backing on it, you could put material, or you could put lace of some sort. But we're just going to try and work with the flowers, the paper flowers today. But I had put some buttons down, and I had some really pretty wood buttons, like so. But I don't really like that one. How about this pink one? Well, that's kind of pretty. I think I like that one. So let's put some Fabrifix on that, because that's a wood button, and on the thin paper. So Fabrifix is the way to go, is in my world. So. Or, you know, you could even use a hot glue gun, but I'm a little dangerous with that. I'm better off not doing that. And there you go. How pretty is that? Now grab a little journaling card here and show you how that looks. Get that glue off there. Oh, wipe my fingers. Oh, it's so pretty. And then you could put it at the bottom of like an envelope or something that you're using, or in the front of your journal. Don't be afraid to embellish more, because, you know, it's the artist's choice, you know, whatever you'd like to do. The other thing that you can do with something like this is to use a marker. Let me grab one. You could grab a marker, and you could just embellish the corners, the edges, with a marker, you know, around, and that would make the color pop and the shape pop a little bit more. There we go. There. How pretty is that? Now you've got your, oops, button's still wet. So you've got your leaves, your flower, and your leaves and your flower is the same fold, just a different cut, and you could put many, many layers, and a little button, a little marker. So how pretty is that? Let's do another. Okay, so now I'd like to do some paper. Let's see if we can get a 3-inch square here. So I hope you're all well. It's that time again where we're going to be changing the clocks. Don't forget to do that. I don't know why they do that. Sometimes I can figure out why, and other times it's like, I just like it the way it is. Let's see if we can cut that down a little bit. Oh my goodness, I just wrecked that paper. Let's try another. That paper's a little weird, and I think I'm needing a new blade here. Let's try this here. Just any scrap paper that you're, you know, it's not important paper. Well, all paper is important when we're doing this, but, you know, something that's just not working for your journal or in your designs, you can trim down and make flowers. There we go. That paper is much better. And it's thinner. And that's the thing with this. Thin paper works really well. So this is just a paper, you know, some words on it. Book pages. Let's fold that in half. Fold it in half again. Turn it a bit. Take this corner and fold it to the other. Make a triangle. Bring it this way. And then hold your corner. Kind of put a crease with your finger. And then fold that up. And then we're going to just snip that across. And what makes a really pretty design are your pinking shears here. We're going to just bring that up. Go way down to the bottom here, about halfway down, and go up. then go across, and then go down the other side about halfway. There we go. Now this gets tiny. Let's open that. Kind of looks like a daisy or a snowflake or something. And how pretty is that? I'm going to lay it on here so you can see it. There we go. So how about some color now? I'm going to turn it over. I like the bigger words on the other side. And I think we'll do some blue. I can find all my tools here. Oh my goodness. Just because, you know, we can be any color we want. That's the fun part. You could, you know, ink them, you could color them. You know, don't be afraid to use whatever you have. If you only have crayons, then use your crayons. If you have, you know, colored pencils, use those. Don't be afraid to say, well, you know, I don't have any ink, so I really can't get going. And, you know, when you're a beginner in this craft, use what you have, make it, you know, make it yours with your tools, and before you know it, you'll be surprised on how many things you can do with very little tools. So here is this flower. Now let's make a little flower for inside there. I'd like to use a smaller piece. Let's see, a little bit lighter. See if I have something white here. I do. Let's measure this one. This could already be 2 inches. 2 inches. Okay, so we're going to just fold that again. Now, when they get smaller and smaller, the smallest I work with is 1 inch, because after that, my fat little fingers just don't work, or the arthritis, depending on the day. So that 1 inch is as small as I can get. But this is a 2-inch paper, which is, it gets tight, and then you fold back and then go back this way one more time. And then you're going to snip that piece off. Remember, same fold, just, oh, those papers are going to be all over the place. Okay, so now we want another design. So I think I'm going to just go straight down from the middle on both sides and snip that just under the pencil line so you don't have the pencil mark on your papers. There we go. And open that. It does get fun when you get going and you're like, oh, let me try this, let me try that. And the design is as much or little as you want on there. And sometimes just practice so you know what kind of shapes you're getting. But a lot of the time when I'm doing that, I wind up using them because they're just too cute. Okay, I think I want to make this one pink. Let's see the pink here. And like I said, use what you have. Like this particular ink I've had for, I can't even tell you how long, for other things that I had been doing. And then this craft crept into my space, and now I do this. So that ink came in handy. Okay, so I'm going to glue that one down. These come together pretty quickly, so it's fun. Alright, there's one. Now, for the center, we could even do another one, or we could just put a button or some bling. Let's see what we have here. This is pretty. That's really pretty. Let me bring that up closer so you can see that. It's a purple flowers, a blue flower, a yellow flower. Now my camera's going to show it to you or not. That's kind of fuzzy, but you see. Alright, so I think I like that. I'm just going to glue that down with Fabrifix. If I don't use the Fabrifix, you know, when I use the heavier buttons, then I wind up doing it again later. Okay, you can always fix things up, put more glue. That's That's the beauty of this, is that it's just a little bit more glue or something in it. And there you go. So the same fold, two completely different flowers. How pretty is that? Let's make another. Let's see what kind of paper we have. Here's a little piece, and what else we have? Oh, here. This piece here. I'm going to trim this down to, let's see how big this is. It's just under 3, so we're going to go right here. Like I said, it doesn't have to be precise. What it has to be is really close so that you can, you know, fold. But you're always going to cut the top off anyway, so, you know, if you don't have a paper cutter, then, see, this is a little lopsided, so it's okay. I'm going to just give that a little trim. And, you know, all flowers are different, and even in the same category, they're always a little bit different shape, so you don't have to worry about it being precise, but as close as you can get it. And we're going to fold our triangle, flip back this way, and fold again. This is the hard one, and it really, it's not that necessary. I mean, you could just cut this straight across, but I like to do it just so that it gives it a little bit more, you know, security in my head, I suppose. And then we're going to snip that. See, that paper is a little bit thicker, so it's a little bit harder to cut. There. Okay, so now we got to decide on a shape. So I think maybe going the opposite way and coming down and going up a little bit more on the curve, and let's see how that looks. It's a little tricky. This paper is a little bit hard. I'm going to come way down and then go up. There we go. And let's see what this one looks like. Some just come out so pretty, it's like, oh, and I did that. So that's nice. There we go. That's really pretty. I like that shape. I'm not sure now what side I'd like to use, but I'm going to fold this piece first. This one is, you know, tiny. Let's see how big that one is. Let's see. This is 1 3/4. So we'll fold it this way, and then this way. One more time. Oh, this gets a little tricky when the paper is small and a little bit thick. There we go. And come back this way and do one more fold. And you can see you have this. I should pay attention here so you can see. Let me open that again so you can see it better. Okay, so let's start with a square. You're going to fold it in half, and fold it in half again, and then turn it so the point is down. Fold it in half again, make a triangle, then turn it to the right and take the open edges of the triangles and fold that over as best that you can. And then this piece here we're going to cut off. Just follow that line and snip it. There we go. Then we're going to open it and now make a shape here. And this one, let's see, I think we'll just do one large curve. Bringing it down on the sides a bit so it has a nice shape. There we go. You know, and if it doesn't look great, just cut some more off, that's all. There we go. Okay, there. Now you have this itty bitty, looks like one little petal off a flower. And then you open it and it's a heart shape. So So let's see. Oh, how pretty is that? Very nice. Now, we have this side that could go on that paper. This paper kind of looks okay with that. But I think I'm going to go this way and put a little pink on this white side. So let's try that. And this looks like an inside of a flower all by itself. How pretty is that? With the different shades. So go with the pink again. I don't know about you all, but I look forward to this time of the year, but I don't look forward to the winter. But hopefully it will come and go quickly, and spring will be back. I get working with the flowers has me already imagining the garden in the springtime. Put a little ink on this one as well to draw out that pink that's in there. There we go. Little flower clusters are so cute. Let's put some glue on there. Look at me forgetting to put the cover on the glue, if I could even find it. There we go. And the ink. Do remember to do that. Keep your things nice. But you get to working and you forget, you know. It's like, oh my goodness, there's the cap. I need to put that back. Let's see about a little flower. Oh, that's very cute. I love buttons. I have a lot of buttons. As you know, I've said it in my other videos. I used to sew more often when my grandchildren were smaller. The little girls, I made them dresses and aprons and, doll clothes and everything. So I had a lot of stuff. And then I have some of my mother's buttons, but I had a lot of my grandmother's buttons that my mother had given me years back. And then my mother-in-law, when she passed, I took her sewing things, a few of them, and she had given me a number of things. So it's nice to have those older buttons, and you have vintage buttons on your little project. And now how cute is this? So we have 3 separate items here. Let me get this paper all the way. When I cut these things, it goes everywhere. So you know you're going to have a pile of papers everywhere. So let's see here. So we have 3 different kinds, all the same fold. You don't have to worry about, changing how you fold it. You just have to decide on your final cut if you're going to cut it straight, if you're going to put a curve on it, if you can use your pinking shears. You could draw, any kind of a little shape, as long as you can get your scissor around it, to go ahead and make those cuts, and you have so many flowers. So practice your cutting. The fold is not too hard. I'll do one more fold for you so you can remember to do that. So you're going to start with a square paper, as square as you can get it. I wish I could find my ruler here. My goodness, such a disaster on this desk. So sort of 3 inches here. And we're going to just fold from the bottom up. Make a crease. We're going to go from right to left and crease. Turn it to the right so your point is at the bottom. Take your side and fold it over to make a triangle. Then turn your open sides to the right and bring those up as best that you can and fold. And remember that this piece right here, we're going to cut this off like so. This is just a piece of paper bag. Anything works. That's the nice thing, is that everything works. Like I said, the only thing that's a little harder is the thicker paper, but if you've got strong hands, you could go ahead and try that. But it does work better with thinner papers, and that you layer them so it gets strength as you go because of the multiple layers. And you can remember that you can add to these and put leaves behind them, fabric, lace, ribbon, whatever else you want to build up on your flower clusters to embellish them. So don't be afraid to, dig through your stash and fancy them up. Okay, so this one, let's see. Oh, I know. Let's try the pinking shears, but we're going to just follow that line. going to go right over and see how that looks. These are big, so these are my older ones from sewing, which they're not as sharp for sewing anymore, so here they are. For paper, they're fine. And we're going to open this one up. Oh, and that's so pretty. I don't know if you can see that edge. Put it on this paper here for you. This is a coffee dyed paper. Look pretty on there. And you can embellish with that even. Okay, so one more. Because I can't help myself. This is what happens in the craft room. So that's 3.5. We're going to do 3.5. Like I said, it doesn't have to be perfect. That's the fun here in the craft room, is that you just go for it. Don't worry about it, you know, being perfect, because, oh my goodness, I'm not perfect. And I like the random things that happen when you're not perfect. And you're like, oh, I didn't mean to do that. And then it comes out really gorgeous. So, okay, so we have this. And then we're going to go from the tippity top. I like this shape. And then out like so. Now this is a little lopsided because, you know, I'm a little lopsided, but alright, let's see if we can do this. You got to cut on the inside of the drawn line, because you don't want those pencil marks on your flowers. But, you know, I'm also not the greatest artist, so, and this will be pretty with some ink on it. There we go. So let's open this. So your flower, oh, that's pretty. So your flower shapes, I mean, that looks like so pretty, right? And then we could put this paper right on it, and I think I'm gonna cut that one down. See how that works? You just all of a sudden you're like, okay, well, maybe that's a little bit too big, and just trim that off a little bit and try again. So, you know, all in good fun, and magic happens at the table. Oh, there, that's so pretty. I love that. So I'm not sure what color I would put on there. Maybe some brown, actually. Let's see, brown somewhere. Pardon my desk today. I've been working and playing, and now it's quite the disaster. But that's the fun of it. You do have a mess. This is not a tidy craft, but it's almost fun for me when it's a little chaotic. I do enjoy that, and I don't stress over the mess. You know, you just pick it up, put it away. It's not hard. It's not heavy. It's not difficult, and everything does have a place when it goes back. So it's all good. Okay, let's put that together. Now this one definitely needs something in the middle. I think this here. Perfect. I had gotten these wooden buttons for some crochet projects, and I have like an abundance of buttons now. So we're gonna put them to good use. There we go. Let's put some glue on that. Set that right down. And then glue this button really well. Make sure you use plenty of glue when you're dealing with the buttons, because they are heavier, of course, than the paper. So you want to make sure it's good and stuck on there. There we go. I'm going to wipe my hands. I always get glue everywhere, so there. I think I'm going to stop now, because I could go at this for hours. And we turn this one around. So there you have it. Move this stuff out of the way. So I hope you really enjoyed these. These are fun. It's a great way to use up your scrap papers, you know, stuff that you're not sure you like it even. But when you make the flowers, they're all beautiful. I think you can have great fun with this. Dig out your markers, your crayons, your colored pencils, your good scissors. You're going to have sharp scissors for that. And some scrap papers, your buttons, you could use some, you know, little beads, some bling, some of these half pearls, stickers. You could use, you know, I think I have some over here. Let's see. Like this one I made earlier has that little half pearl on it. And let's see, this one has a little blingy half pearl, like it's kind of plastic, but it glues right down nice. It makes that look sparkly. This was just a sticker in the middle, like a gold sticker, shiny. In that one, this one has some paper doily on the back of it, and I made some leaves with the book pages, and how pretty is that? Just, you know, on your journaling card, on an envelope, anything. It really is pretty, and you can embellish quite nicely. And then you have little ones, and this is 3 different shapes that I cut in the flower. So have yourself a blast cutting your flowers. This is beautiful. And I hope you had a great time today. If you enjoyed this video, please let me know that you had fun or you learned something with a thumbs up. And you could share, subscribe if you haven't. I'm really grateful for everyone who is subscribing or visiting or viewing my videos. And remember to ring that little bell so that you can see upcoming videos. And thank you for joining me here today, and see you next time. Bye-bye.